Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk about some of the information that is filtering through this mind, body, soul, and coming through Hanifa to share with you. And so much of it is about what I have had the wonderful experience of doing here in Indonesia, in my time in Indonesia. And this is something that I have had such a pleasure of sharing with so many people that I've met, whether here in Bali or in Lombok or different parts of Bali. I'm in Ubud right now, but I've been in Singaraja, I've been in various places, Gili, so the Gili Islands. So I really, in Gili Air specifically, if anyone is familiar with Indonesia. Anyways, in all of these places, I've definitely, you know that I've been on a calling in this journey and to Indonesia, and certainly in my life. I suspect all of our lives are a calling of some sort. But today I thought I would talk about love, truth, and Pope Leo XIV, the current Pope, is definitely the inspiration for this video today. So I wanted to share this first quotation with you. It says, "God loves each of us as if there were only one of us." God loves each of us as if there was only one of us. And that quotation is by Saint Augustine, and Pope Leo is from this lineage. And I love Saint Augustine quotes, and this one specifically is very fitting for my time here in Bali too, because you know that I really love Sanskrit also. And one of the favorite meaningful quotes for Sanskrit terms is called Tattvam Asi, which is that thou art, you are that. And this meaning, this divine spark that is in each of us, and whether we call it God or the universe, here they might look at various deities like Rama or Shiva or Krishna, any deities which represent godlike energies, and that being within us, and that we being the same, because having that same spark in us is the same. And we look at this as God loves each of us as if there was only one of us, and how many people can truly say that we do this? So in Indonesia too, I definitely see that, you know, whether we differentiate or separate people by the country that they're from. So the location that they're in Bali is one thing, then a different country. So I'm Canadian in Bali. And of course, everyone that comes through here, I so often hear the first judgment of they're from here, they're from there, they're from, so naming. So some people are from India, and some people are from England, some people are from Germany, and these things people remember. And people remember the color. So whether it's a Balinese, this person's light and this person's dark, and we know that this happens throughout the whole world too. We separate people by age. This is an old person, this is a young person. This is a smart person, this is a not smart person. This is a rich person, this is a poor person. So we look at ways to divide and separate. And yet, based on that, we as humans often will judge how much care or concern to give to anyone. So if someone is worthy, maybe I feel someone is worthy who is less than me. So this person's poor, this person's from a poor country, and so I feel like sharing something with them. But that judgment alone is not sharing from equality. And so today, I wanted to mention this, that this whole idea of divine spark, this energy of truth, love, compassion, care, all of this is to see the sameness in each of us, that each of us is going through something not so easy and something maybe really good. And maybe at this time something really good is happening for someone, and tomorrow something not so good is happening. And here we are in this political climate that's also enveloping this world, and we certainly are seeing some powers that are focused on maybe not cooperation, more competition. Of course, we see more greed, we see lust, we see so many things. And so many times we like to differentiate that too, that though that's politics, but this is not. So this video is very focused on healthcare because, you know, I'm getting my healthcare mind on again. And here too, my healthcare mind has been very present. It's not something that we lose, no matter whether we give up a license or whether we leave a country for any amount of time for a vacation or for longer. What we gather in ourselves, whether our minds or our hearts, and most often our hearts, it doesn't leave. And so healthcare is very much part of me and has been part of me here, even though I haven't been able to officially practice anything. What I practice is care, compassion, truth, peace, honesty, this integrity of self, which I think is very important. So I come back to healthcare professionals. Do we do this? Do we do this today? So I look at naturopathic doctors, the group that I was part of, and I still feel part of, by the way, so even without using the title anymore, when we look at naturopathic doctors, and oftentimes people will compare, well, it's not like my medical doctor, or if someone goes to a naturopathic doctor, it's like, that person might even say that, you're so much better than my medical doctor, and yet there's something wonderful about each. Oftentimes the care is the most important thing. It's interesting, when I was at McMaster University during my studies, I remember we had an option of talking about, I think we had something like 10 different sentences, and we could choose one to discuss in problem-based learning. And I remember I had chosen quality of life through quality of care. And isn't this what we need today? Today, so often people have moved into the quantity of care. My doctor only gives me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and yes, quantity does make a little bit of a difference, but it is the quality. So if a doctor even gives me a full hour, but is busy going through paperwork or looking away from me, it's not as wonderful as someone who gives me 10 minutes and is fully attentive and present with me. Now, as practitioners and having been in the field, I do know that we get pushed into working a little bit faster, quicker, more caught up in the notes that we take because worried about legalities. Even when I had started naturopathic medicine, I remember I had friends that were in Western medicine at the time, and one let me know that one of their colleagues, a Western medical MD, that was practicing for a number of years, was sent a letter from the medical association saying, you're not seeing enough patients in an hour, what are you doing? Something must be wrong because you should be seeing more patients. Now, imagine how many patients would love for their medical doctor to spend a little bit more time with them. Yet, naturopathic medicine has also gone in a very similar route. We've also gone into much more prescribing. Even if we say natural supplements, we have moved more into this is more efficient. Plus, the patient will often feel, or client will often feel like, oh, at least they gave me something, I got something to work with. When they have something tangible in their hands, they're okay. Sometimes they want to hear about nutrition. We'll tell them about nutrition, or you'll tell them about nutrition. And sometimes they don't like the nutritional recommendations, so we might adjust. Now, is that the best quality of care? Because it's the interaction that matters the most. So this presence is something that I do not see happening so regularly in any healthcare profession, but I also think throughout the world in any profession. So often we're rushed for time, trying to fit in so many things into a very limited time that we're not present. Someone can be very present in work and not present at home. So then is the person at home getting as much care as a person at work? And vice versa happens too. So today I wanted to bring this to our attention, that this idea of treating each as if there was only one, then the person I speak to at work, whether my boss or the cleaning person in my workplace, I speak to with as much respect as I speak to my boss, as much respect that I speak to my family member, as much respect as I speak to the neighbor. But do we do this? But this is Divine Spark. And you know, in healthcare we often talk, I know in McMaster we talked very much about the 4 areas to focus on: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And we talk about it. I don't know how much of our energy is put into that spiritual side, because how can you say, I was very present? I would write that as, this is what I did, I was very present. Yet if I don't see something tangible, if I gave them a supplement, then that's something to note. But if you were present, or you cared, or you cried with them, Is that something we can write? Is it spiritual to actually be with, to care about a person that we're sitting in front of? I believe it is. And I believe it's time to stop the untruth that we are paying attention to these areas when our practice has really moved away from these areas. So I wanted to finish with this quotation too. I know that it's on my computer, and I will read it out to you because I feel that it's very, very important, because again, even though it's a quotation from Pope Leo, I find that it applies to every person. So here it is. You know that I'm on a calling, and I believe we all are. Here it says, you are called to be truth speakers and peacemakers, people who stand by their word and are builders of peace. Now, interesting. Do you know how many, myself included, people are in situations, in families that are not necessarily speaking truth? Could be a relationship that might break up into a divorce, but it could be a parent not speaking to a child properly, a child not speaking to a parent properly, a sibling not speaking to a sibling properly, meaning speaking truth and compassionately and lovingly. And when we see this, are we building peace? Because it starts within. Am I peaceful? Can I share peace with the people that I love the most, or I say that I love the most? Not because, but often it is, people will say, well, because they're my family member, I should be like this, but I don't bring peace to them because they don't bring peace to me. Yet, do I try? Can I try? Can I make that intention that let me keep this peaceful, respectful, loving, compassionate? Or do I want things my way? Because that's what we do as practitioners too. That, you know what, I've only got this much time and you've got one symptom to tell me because we're running out of time, so can you finish this very quickly? And I become less peaceful. And I myself am not peaceful because I see a waiting room waiting full of patients. If I'm a medical doctor, that might be the case. And if I'm a naturopathic doctor, I might see 2 or 3, whatever frequency you're seeing patients in, or how early your clients are arriving. You might have even just one person. I remember even when I had one person in the waiting room and I knew they were early for their appointment, but the minute it was in my mind, I was very concerned about, I definitely don't want to be late for them. And if I was 5 minutes late, I'd rush outside and say, I'll be with you in 5 minutes. And that's also care and compassion, isn't it? It's that awareness that everything we do matters, that's the divine spark in us. Today, I hope that we can be builders of peace in whatever profession that we're in. It begins within ourselves, and then to share that everywhere we are. Truth speaking and building peace. Today I thank Pope Leo for reminding me about these truths and knowing that it's completely in alignment with where I am today in Indonesia. Thank you for listening, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.